Elias found a moon casting shadows without any light. Its darkness moved against the direction of its star. Telescopes recorded human-like shapes inside the black regions. No one could explain why those shapes looked upward. Umbra reflected no light, which gave it its name. Elias was sent to trace the silhouette's source. As his ship approached, every shadow stopped at once. One enormous shadow turned toward his cockpit. It raised an arm as if greeting a visitor. Umbra seemed to have waited for humanity. Elias landed along the border between light and darkness. One side was a white desert beneath harsh starlight. The other was a black plain without visible depth. Elias's shadow stretched forward despite the light behind him. It moved half a beat behind his body. When Elias stopped, the shadow kept walking. It turned and signaled for him to follow. His instruments detected a temperature within the shadow. Darkness here was not an absence of light. It was a form of life. The shadow led Elias into a forest of pillars. Each pillar held darkness of a different shape. A bird-like shadow flew between the cliffs. A four-legged shadow drank light from the ground. The creatures possessed no clear physical bodies. They survived by absorbing trapped photons. When full, they released thin blue outlines. Elias reached toward a small, trembling creature. The shadow wrapped his glove without feeling cold. It showed him a vision of a stolen sun. Deep inside grew trees that stored daylight. Their leaves were black mirrors thin as paper. At night, their roots released light underground. Shadow creatures gathered around the glowing roots. They did not fear light, but depended upon it. Black worms coiled around trunks to preserve warmth. Flowers opened only inside complete darkness. Their pollen floated as tiny particles of light. Umbra sustained life through exchange between light and shadow, but that exchange was breaking down. Human-like silhouettes appeared and surrounded Elias. They rose from the ground like physical bodies. Purple outlines revealed faces without eyes. They called themselves the Vesper. The Vesper recorded memory by shaping shadows. Each carried shadows from many ancestral generations. Elias saw their history moving across the cliffs. A city once shone beneath a smaller sun. Then that sun vanished from the city's center. Without it, the shadow species were slowly dissolving. The Vesper guided Elias to a city below. Its towers appeared only when viewed indirectly. Bridges were woven from overlapping bands of shadow. Spheres of light floated above dark plazas. Each sphere nourished thousands of residents. The central sphere vanished 3 cycles earlier. Ancient cameras showed a luminous creature taking it. The creature escaped toward the white desert. The Vesper could not survive long in intense light. Only Elias could pursue the thief. Elias crossed the bright side on a magnetic sled. The ground reflected starlight like thousands of mirrors. Crystal animals chased the sled's moving shadow. They had transparent bodies and luminous bones. Mirror-faced birds covered the sky. Reflections overwhelmed his navigation system. Elias used his own shadow as a compass. The shadow pointed toward an enormous impact crater. Golden sunlight rose from the crater's depths. The thief waited directly below. Inside the crater, Elias met a creature of light. It resembled a child with long, radiant wings. The creature held the sun sphere against its chest. It did not attack, but guarded a nest. Inside were dozens of fading light creatures. The sphere had saved them from the bright side. Elias understood this was not theft driven by greed. Both ecosystems needed the same source of energy. Returning it would save Vesper but doom the young. He needed a way to divide the light. Elias discovered the sphere was a living prism. It could create more light when given enough shadow. He summoned the Vesper to the twilight border. The light beings brought their young there too. Elias placed the sphere between both realms. The Vesper poured ancestral shadows into the prism. The light creatures offered their remaining energy. The sphere divided into two smaller suns. One returned home, while one stayed near the nest. For once, both species saw each other clearly. Dividing the prism made the entire moon tremble. A vast dark fissure opened along the twilight line. Living shadows poured into it like a river. Light was pulled from both newborn suns. Elias realized Umbra was an ancient balancing machine. The prism had once stabilized the moon's gravitational core. To save Umbra, they had to reconnect both suns. The Vesper formed a shadow bridge across the fissure. The light beings became a radiant cable overhead. Elias stood between them and synchronized both energies. The twin suns pulsed in perfect rhythm. The shadow bridge became a ring around the moon. The fissure closed as light and shadow merged. Mirror forests regrew from the ground. Shadow creatures regained their luminous outlines. The young lights flew from their nest at last. The Vesper opened their city to the bright side. Both species began trading light and memory. Elias saw his own shadow standing beside him. It bowed before returning beneath his feet. Elias left Umbra as both small suns rose. A new ring of shadow glowed around the moon. Telescopes finally revealed the Vesper city, but Elias kept its exact coordinates secret. He sent home one sample of light and shadow. Inside the laboratory, the sample formed a small hand. It drew a circle of shadow across the table. The circle matched Umbra's new ring. Then another shadow appeared behind Elias. Perhaps part of Umbra had followed him home. The call from planet Elra. Across the endless cosmic ocean, Lyra received a signal unlike anything ever discovered. It was not a cry for help, but an invitation sent across the stars. The coordinates led her to Elra, a planet hidden behind the nebula for millions of years. From orbit, Elra looked less like a world and more like a living creature. Below the clouds waited a wilderness beyond anything humanity had ever imagined. There, Lyra became the first human to set foot upon Elra. Every tree was connected, forming a living network across the entire continent. These tiny creatures used color to speak, warn one another, and express emotion. This gentle giant did not eat the trees, but absorbed their excess energy. On Elra, rivers did not flow toward the sea. They climbed into the sky. Even the predators took only enough to preserve the balance of the forest. Above the forest drifted sky leviathans, creatures as vast as entire cities. Within the forest, Lyra met the Illyri, a people who had evolved alongside nature. They spoke without words, sharing thoughts through light and living memories. The Illyri city was not constructed. It had been grown over thousands of years. Across the planet, the Drokan endured within the unforgiving crystal deserts. They transformed underground heat and pressure into power for their entire civilization. High above lived the Oralis, a people who had never touched the ground. At Elra's center stood the Heart Tree, connecting every living creature on the planet. A parasite carried by an ancient meteor was draining the Heart Tree's energy. If the Heart Tree died, Elra's entire web of life would disappear with it. Forest, desert, and sky weakened together, bringing 3 civilizations toward extinction. Elra realized that no single race could save Elra alone. To heal the planet, they had to enter the deepest chamber of the Heart Tree. The Illyri awakened the biological energy sleeping beneath the ancient forest. The Drokan focused the power of millions of crystals into a single beam. The Oralis transformed the atmosphere into a vast network of flowing energy. When the 3 powers united, the darkness faded, and Elra's heart awakened again. Elra was saved not by one hero, but by worlds that chose unity. Elra returned with a message. Among the stars, we have never truly been alone. Mara received a melody from an uncharted ocean. The signal repeated whenever she remembered Earth. Its source waited on the ocean world Thalassa 9. No satellite had ever found land there. The planet glowed like one enormous watching eye. Mara changed course and entered the forbidden sector. Her computer warned that the water was transmitting patterns. The patterns resembled the rhythms of a living brain. A world without continents appeared to be thinking, and it was calling Mara by name. Her ship pierced clouds the color of pearl. Below stretched an endless violet-blue ocean. Enormous rings of light moved across the surface. Each ring pulsed with the mysterious signal. Mara landed upon a floating reef. The reef shifted itself to support her ship. Coral branches opened like patient fingers. The air was breathable, but filled with glowing spores. The spores spiraled around her helmet. They seemed to be testing her memories. The first creature appeared beneath the transparent water. It carried 8 thin fins and a glass-like body. Inside it moved a school of living lights. The creature changed color when Mara raised her hand. A larger school surfaced and formed symbols. The symbols recreated scenes from Mara's childhood. No machine had ever recorded those memories. The ocean had read them from her mind. The glass creatures were cells within something larger. The entire sea might be one living being. Mara descended inside a transparent exploration pod. Sunlight vanished after only a few hundred meters. In its place, millions of luminous species awakened. Ribbon-shaped fish wrapped themselves around the currents. Giant sea trees opened flowers as she passed. Bell-shaped creatures released a deep harmonic sound. The sound made her pod vibrate like an instrument. Mara realized music was the ocean's language. Each species carried a different part of the symphony. But one essential note was slowly disappearing. The current guided Mara toward underwater domes. A living city rested among blue coral forests. Its buildings expanded with the rhythm of the sea. Tall, slender residents emerged through liquid doorways. They were Nymari, silver-skinned beings with glowing gills. The Nymari greeted Mara with a gentle chord. Her translator produced images instead of words. Mara saw the ocean preserving their history. Each memory was stored inside a luminous creature. But the memory keepers were beginning to die. The Nymari led Mara to the memory current. Its water moved against every surrounding current. Touching it revealed ages long gone. Mara witnessed the planet when its ocean was young. She saw the Nymari evolve from tiny swimmers. She also saw a black object fall from space. It had rested in the deepest trench for millennia. Since then, memories had vanished piece by piece. Mara realized the object was feeding on neural energy. If it awakened, the ocean would forget itself. The Nimari chose a living diver, not a machine. The giant ray opened a chamber along its back. Mara and 3 Nimari entered its body. It descended where pressure could crush metal. Biological membranes absorbed the pressure around them. Outside, kilometer-long light worms drifted past. A circular-mouthed creature emerged from darkness. A Nimari chord calmed it and sent it away. Mara understood that music maintained peace below. Deeper down, the signal became more twisted and broken. They reached an abyss that reflected no light. A black sphere with thin spines floated there. Its spines pierced the currents like roots. Every pulse erased thousands of memories. The sphere opened a bright slit and watched Mara. It recreated the voice of her lost mother. For a moment, Mara believed her mother was calling. A powerful Nimari chord broke the illusion. The creature fed not on flesh, but cherished memory. To win, the whole ocean had to remember. Mara sent a signal to every Nimari city. Millions of residents began singing one shared melody. Sea creatures carried the melody across the planet. Coral reefs lit up like neural pathways. The memory current expanded through every sea. The black sphere released millions of illusions. Mara focused on one true memory of her mother. She shared that memory with the entire ocean. The honest emotion shattered the false visions. The sphere began losing control. A colossal leviathan awakened beneath the trench. Its body carried symbols from the planet's history. It was Thalassa's oldest keeper of memory. The leviathan wrapped long fins around the sphere. Mara broadcast the final melody from her pod. Every creature on the planet answered together. Memory light flooded into the black spines. The sphere collapsed into a silent seed. The leviathan swallowed the seed and sealed it away. The ocean's symphony became whole again. The memory keepers began glowing again. Lost memories returned to the Nimari. Children saw their ancestors for the first time. Living cities blossomed across the seafloor. The Nimari gave Mara a drop of starlit water. Within it rested the memory of an entire world. Mara promised never to weaponize the gift. The ocean answered with a gentle melody. For once, the signal stopped calling her name. It called the name of Earth. Mara left the reef as 2 moons rose. Glass creatures lifted from the water to farewell her. The Leviathan appeared beneath the clouds like living land. Her ship carried the memory drop into orbit. Mara transmitted part of the melody toward Earth. Telescopes at home received the signal. Yet the water drop began forming rings of light. Within them appeared images of many other oceans. Thalassa was not the only world that remembered. The universe might be preserving every story ever lived.